Welcome back, students. In this session we are going to start chapter number 3, that is database management system. Now what is database? So in that we have going to learn all that introduction and what is database. So let's move on the first part, that is a data and base. Data means data can be anything, okay? Like your name, it is data. Your address, it is data. Your previous year marks, that is called a data. But when we grouped into a particular form, that will be make an information, so that it is any meaningful piece of information, that is a data. It can be number, words, images or video, anything can be a data. And data has to be stored permanently for a long period of, and numerous applications are linked to them. This big storehouse or the collection of interrelated data is known as the database. So data were stored in a particular format for the long-term use, that is called the database. Now let's see some history of database system. So there are 3 generations are there: first generation, second generation and the third generation. Now in the first generation, the hierarchical model was introduced, that is called IMS. It is called information management system. And then after, network model created. In that, conference on data system language, that is called course system. And then DBTG, that is called database task group, it is created. But in that, the limitation is complex program for simple query. If you want to write the simple query, then you have to write the complex program, that is very difficult to understand. Then minimum data independence, so data cannot be independent itself, and no theoretical foundation. In that, not foundation are there. So that second generation is used. In the second generation, it is the relational models, and relational models means 2 or more tables can connect each other with a particular relation, that is called the relational model. And in that relational model, if you want to create a relational model, you have to use Dr. E.R. Core's 12 rules, and if any database satisfied all that 12 rules, that is, then it will be relational database management system, that is called DBMS. And then after, DB2 is created, and the Oracle. Right now still in the market, Oracle is widely used as a database. But again, there is some limitations are there for the second generation, and that is limited data modeling. So you cannot create as meaningful data as in the third generation. So the third generation is created. Right now we are using the third generation of the database, that is object relational database. Means RDBMS is there, but ORDBMS, or also we can say object oriented DBMS. Okay, so this is the generation of database management system. Now some concept about the database. So database means a database is a structured collection of interrelated records or data that is stored in a computer system for the long-term use. And DBMS means database management system. Means a DBMS, database management, refers to creating, modifying, deleting and adding data files in the files. So whatever you have data, you can manipulate it, and that is called database management system. There are 3 types of database management system: file based system, I already flat-based, file based system, history of database, and database management system, that is called RDBMS. Now let's see the categories of database. First is file, or we can say flat based definition. Number 2, relational database, and number 3, distributed database. Okay, so in file or flat definition, it means the information is stored in a single file in a tabular form which has no relation with each other database. For example, in Excel we type the data in form of the rows and columns, so it is called the file or flat based definition. This is called the database, but it has no meaningful information in that. Second, relational database. So in relational database, it is a set of tables containing data fit into some predefined categories, like RDBMS, like relational database management system. Some examples of relational database is Oracle, OpenOffice Base, Microsoft Access. These are called relational database, RDBMS. And number 3, distributed database. Distributed means these are the mainly used in a networked environment where centralized database is distributed at multiple locations on the network so that the different users can access it, like bank server, like then we can say Flipkart server, Amazon server. So in this, distributed database system is used, means anyone can access because they have multiple users are there. Okay, so this is the concept of database categories. Now we are going to learn some advantages of database. First, easy searching and updating, means whenever we are talking about the large information, and then if you want to access it, then using the database we can access any information anytime and very quick. Okay, and if you want to update it, if you want to modify the data, also you can update within a single query. So it is very easy to search and updating. Next is store. So a database not only store information, but it also gives you add, delete, update and organize some different functions on this same database. Okay, reductions of data redundancy. Reduction means data redundancy means duplication of data. Reduction means we can remove. Redundancy means duplication, and reduction means we can remove. So in the data we can easily remove the duplicate data using the DBMS. Control inconsistency. Inconsistency means if we have a centralized data, then repeated tasks we can minimize. Data sharing means you can share your data to anyone, anywhere, anytime. Okay, because it is your centralized data. Enforcement of the standard means you can maintain your all validations and keys in the database because you are going to creating the database. That's why. Data security, you can import the security on a specific access, like user can access some part of data, administrative can access some part of data, employees can access some part of data. So you can import the data security on the specific table or the data. Printing the reports, because we are installing all the information in a specific order, so we can easily get any kind of report just by firing the only single query. Okay, so this is all about the advantages of database. Now next we are going to learn about the main part of the database, that is called the components of database. So here one table is given, in that table rows and columns are there. Okay, so you can easily see these are the column 1, column 2, column 3 up to these are the columns, and these are called the rows. Okay, now columns names are train ID, name of the train, from, departure time, to, and arrival time. So whenever discuss about the train ID, this is first column, name of the train, second column, from, this is third column, departure, this is fourth column, up to so on. So in a database, columns names are known as a field name. We can say train ID field, name of the train field, from field, departure field, to field, arrival field. So this is called the field. Okay, and this is called the row, means entire row makes a meaningful data, like this is the meaningful data and this is the meaningful data. Means train ID 18340, name is Rajdhani Express, it will start from New Delhi at 13 means 1 o'clock afternoon, and it will reach Jaipur at 19 means at evening 6 o'clock. Okay, so this is called the first record of the database. So also this is called the row, or also we can say the record. So these are here three records are the record 1, record 2, record 3, and entire thing is called the data. Getting entire thing is called the data, right? So here field 1, field 2, field 3, field 4, field 5, field 6, and here it is row 1, row 2, row 3 and row 4. And here written here primary key. Primary key means uniquely identifies each row, that is called a primary key. Means user have to assign at least one primary key to each and every table. Okay, so here train ID is a primary key, because once a single train given a particular ID, then that ID we cannot assign in the second. Similarly, in a school, in a particular class, if roll number is assigned to a specific student, then that same roll number we cannot assign in another students. Okay, so roll number is called the primary key or unique ID, right? So here it is the component of table, that is called field, data, record, primary key, columns, rows. Okay, Some examples where the database is used in the school to maintain students record, in the college also we can use, and in the universities also used for the maintain the students record. In the industries, everyone, any business person can use the database to maintain employees record, to maintain the products, to make a profit and loss, all that kind of things. They are stored in the form of the database for the future purpose. Also research, to make a scientific research, they also store some information for the future, and also store information for the past and current also. Consultancy service means those who provide the different kinds of services like customer care, they also store the information of customer for their to refine their query. Businesses and stock markets, so also in this form the database is used. So we can see here in the many ways in the school, in college and universities, students are using this for the students, employees, examinations, human resource, and all that things we can use for the database. In the industries, to maintain the records of employees and machineries and product and all that things, we can use the database. Research and technology, to make scientific research also we need to store the past data, present data, and future data also, to make comparison in the future. Consultancy service means customer relationship management system also there, to improve the customers need and to satisfy their business and stock. Okay, it is also used for the database for them. Now next is RDBMS. RDBMS means relational database management system, and if you are going to create your own database, then it must be satisfied 12 rules which is introduced by Dr. E.F. Code. If it is not satisfying there, it is not a relational database. So if you want to create RDBMS, you must have to satisfy all 12 rules of Dr. E.F. Codes. Okay, so it is called relational database management system, and in that some keys are there. So how many keys are there? So primary key, composite key, candidate key, and the foreign keys are there. So primary key means what? The primary key is a field that uniquely identifies each row in a table. It does not allow null values and must have a unique value. Means here customer ID is 1, name is Simon, and surname is Jones. So in the next row the customer ID becomes true. Means forename or the surname can be same, but the customer ID never be same. So the customer ID can be the primary key. Means those field which is going to be unique, that is called the primary key, and that we have to assign in at least one primary key we have to assign in each table. Composite key means primary key is applied to one or more field on the same table, that is called the composite key. Here the author ID and book ID both we can apply. Okay, so it is called the author ID 1, it is given, and here book ID becomes 2, so it is called composite primary key on a multiple columns, that is called the composite key. Here it is wrong because of 2 same, 1 same, so it is not possible. Here null value entered, because as you know primary key does not contain null value, so it is true because 1 right, here 1 also, because but at the time here 2, so this is the correct. Candidate key, a table can have more than one single field that has a unique values. All such fields that uniquely identifies the rows in a table are called the candidate keys. Like here roll number and the registration both are the candidate key, because roll number also is unique and registration number is also called the unique number, so it is called the candidate keys. Now foreign key means a foreign key is an attribute or combination of attributes in a table whose value match a primary key in another table, so it is called the foreign key. In the here student table is there, student ID, student name, and course is there, and second table is there, that is called department. So in the department name and the student ID is there. So for example, student here 101, 105, 107, 108. So 105 students belongs to AI course. So whenever we find out the AI course, so it will be department ID will be there. So CS department 105. So here table number 1, in that primary key it is given, and in table number 2 student ID becomes the foreign key because it is accessible in the second table by the same. Here it can be the multiple times, but whenever we assign the primary key, it will be only unique, in that we cannot give the same, so it is called the foreign key. Now we are going to solve the assessment one. So first, DAS is a software package that can be used for creating and managing database. So all MS Access, Office Base and LibreOffice, all of these. OpenOffice Base is a DAS software. Relational DAS are building blocks of this database, so tables. DAS are the collection of different types of information about the same object, so record. DAS key is a field that uniquely identify each record in a table, so primary key. What does RDBMS stands for? So DBMS means database management system. List out advantages of database. So easy searching and updating, store, reduction of the data redundancy, control inconsistency, data sharing, enforcement of the standard, data security, and printing the reports. What is RDBMS? So RDBMS stands for Relational Database Management System. Okay, and that is based on the relational model as introduced by Dr. E.F. Core. Okay, explain any three elements of a database in brief. So first, row, we can say tuples, or we can say records. Okay, this is a collection of different types of information of a same subject. Columns, we can say columns, attributes, or field, it is same. So this is a category of information. It provides a structure according to which rows are composed, like roll number, name, address. Okay, and data items mean it is the entire entity that makes up a database, which means that every database contains information about the some or other data items. Give some examples of database used every day, like in school, college, universities, industries, and research. Okay, differentiate between types and attribute of a table. So row, tuples, and records. Tuple is a collection of different types of information about the same object, where column, attributes, and fields are the category of information. It provides the structure according to which rows are composed. So students, this is all about the session 1, introduction to database. From the next session we are going to learn about how to start the database, okay, or access, and how to create a table with the different data types. So keep watching, don't forget to like it, share it with your friends, okay, and stay tuned for the next video.